All right, this is the Kleb and Pach show for February 29th, 2016.
Hello.
I am hello. I of course am Kleb, and joining me on the line.
Is Pack?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
From the other side.
From the other side, I did just realize though that we are doing this on a leap year. That's kind of funny.
Oh.
Did you see the Google cartoon for today?
I saw some bunnies. I didn't click on it though.
Oh, I just meant that was it. The bunnies were pretty cute.
Oh, of course they are. Yeah.
I mean, they're bunnies.
Yeah.
So we got a sort of like a little catch up for the month. We have some cool stuff that happened. We have the announcement at the beginning of the month for the Hearthstone format update, which will be, I don't actually know when it's going to be implemented, but it will be happening.
Super excited for that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We're going to talk a little bit about Diablo Season 5, rather. Diablo 3 Season 5. We're going to talk a little bit about Grim Dawn. Pokemon turned 20 this month, so that's really cool. And I'm going to muse about the Division beta for a little bit, because I played it, I believe, I want to say 2 weeks ago. I played it over the weekend, and there's some good, there's some bad, and I think it's pretty good to... I think it's an interesting take, especially from a company that I hate, like Ubisoft. But I mean, they couldn't get me to download Uplay with Rainbow Six, but I did download Uplay so that I could play in the Division beta. So we will see. But let's just jump right into it then and start off with the Hearthstone Standard announcement. So for anyone who has been following, the Standard is going to be the rotating format for Hearthstone. So it's only going to use 2 years worth of cards and the base set. So basically, you're all that stuff that's in like Naxxramas and I guess Goblins and Gnomes, that would be the first year, right?
Right. Wow.
Yeah, so that stuff will be gone, and you'll have a new format with Grand Tournament, the Adventurer one, I can't remember its name now, and I think that's it. So there's definitely some good and some bad. So the good is that cards that sort of oppress Hearthstone can go the way of the dodo, at least as far as Standard is concerned, and we can stop seeing them in every deck. Can you guess what a few of those are? 'Cause they're pretty obvious.
One of them's a physician, I believe.
Yeah.
Geez, it's going to be hard to picture playing without Sylvanas.
What about piloted Shredder? You want real ridiculousness, like a piloted Shredderless format.
Yeah.
No more pure value.
Wait,
for
I
it.
said there was going to be no Sylvanas. There will always be Sylvanas.
Yeah, Sylvanas
exactly.
is a core
Yeah,
card,
that's the concept. Core cards are always there. Okay.
Yes. And no Shredder though, no Mad Scientist, no. Oh geez, no Doctor.
It's hard
Boom.
to picture Hearthstone without Naxxramas, and
It's true, and I think one of the weird things that they're also doing with this though is that if you don't own Naxxramas, you will be unable to purchase the adventure after it rotates out of Standard.
Right. I was really curious about that too, as to the specific business decision that they had to come up with to make that decision.
I can't help but think it's a bit of a silly move, because you don't want to do work that the user never sees. Right? Because Naxxramas is really good. It's a cool... the fact that it exists is cool, but the fact that it won't be available for purchase at all once it rotates seems very silly. You'll be able to craft the cards with dust, and the same goes for packs too. I don't think you'll be able to buy Goblins and Gnomes packs once it's Standard. So you'll have to just craft the cards with dust. And I'm I can sort of... I don't want to say I understand, because to me it feels really silly. Because if you were talking about a real trading card game, then you can always buy those packs, and there's always a chance of getting stuff. But I mean, it does seem a little odd to me to actively less so the packs. I sort of get that, but more so the the fact that you would get rid of the adventures.
Is this all because of that one event where everyone bought the wrong packs because they didn't know how to click on the right ones? Like, one bad experience ruins it for
Maybe.
All time, or they have another like set planned, right? Like maybe they have another.
Yeah, they're going to keep releasing an adventure and
beyond that,
expansion a
like
year, I would
just
imagine.
another way to monetize Naxxramas, maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know. They did say there wouldn't be reprints, quote unquote, because so cards that were in old sets will never be seen again, right? So they're not going to go like Return to Naxxramas, or like you won't see Mad Scientist in another set. It's just going to be gone as far as being able to open it in packs. So I don't know. It's a weird one. I definitely disagree with removing it from the shop. I think that the adventures are clever, and I think that if you're gonna remove it from the shop for purchase, it should just be available to play for free. And you know what you can do is you can make it so that you don't get the rewards for doing it anymore. So you don't get packs or anything. You don't get you don't just don't get the cards.
Make it about the challenge,
right,
about beating these bosses or something, right? Like.
Yeah, so I think it feels really silly to put all that work into something and then get rid of it. But that's just me.
I agree.
I mean,
I agree.
but I have to think that it's like it feels like a very silly, very very silly thing.
Yeah, you and I can't figure that one out.
Yeah.
Well,
apparently they're also going to add more deck slots.
Right. Obviously,
up to 18.
Obviously, everyone's excited.
If you've
about
unlocked
that.
all the set.
Like,
yeah, well, because I mean 9 is kind of insulting,
yeah.
but
it's still finite.
Okay, actually, here's something we got here. So, standard format will arrive this spring. When the momentous moment arrives, you'll be able to build standard decks using the following cards. Okay, so basic, which is like class cards. Classic, which is anything you can open in a classic pack. Blackrock Mountain, and the Grand Tournament. So I guess. Oh yeah, Blackrock Mountain totally exists. I totally forgot about that.
The Dragon
set,
about
that.
You and I both.
Yes, the Dragon Adventure, yeah. So Blackrock Mountain will be there. Grand Tournament will be there. League of Explorers will be there, and then the Spring 2016 expansion will be there. And then Curse of Naxxramas and Goblins and Gnomes will not be part of the first standard. So, and then when we release the first new expansion each year, every set that wasn't released in the same year or the year prior will cycle out and no longer be part of the standard format.
I'm excited.
I think that for Hearthstone, it makes a lot of sense. I'm not usually a fan of this. Like, for Magic the Gathering, I'm not a fan of rotating formats, but that's because the commitment of playing a standard deck in Magic is a lot more expensive than playing a standard deck in Hearthstone, for sure.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that they would release a new classic every year. I know that's like asking a lot, and it's kind of unfair to put Blizzard in that situation, but I wish that the classic packs were actually.
You mean like
change
next year there would be Classic 2017?
Yeah,
but,
I wish they would do something
why?
like that. Because I think that it's like it's just there's so many cards in Classic that are kind of staples, and like you'll always see them because they're just powerful, like Ragnaros, Sylvanas, like all these cards. And I think that they could definitely. I mean, I understand that it's a real estate thing, and like it has to be a full size set for Classic to work like that. But I think it would at least maybe shuffle up the legendaries or something. I don't know.
Geez, that would be a good idea to see Dr. Boom again, maybe in 2 years.
Yeah, it just seems kind of silly that. No, I mean, not silly. I think that it would be kind of cool if Classic rotated as well, but
there must be some business decision, because Magic stopped doing the core sets, right? Like, so obviously there's they did the studies or whatever to figure out that there's no money in doing that.
Yeah, well, I mean, no one's buying Classic packs anymore, so this way at least you can buy Well, actually, I guess it does make sense that there should always be a pack that you could buy into where the cards will always be playable. I guess there is a fair argument for something like that. In Hearthstone. So, I mean, I don't know. It's exciting, and I'm definitely down to, experiment with it and not have to look at, silly freaking, just value town decks anymore. It also does free up a bit of design space for Blizzard because they don't have to worry about they don't have to worry about like breaking Hearthstone every time they release a new card, right? So like now they can. I mean, at this I hope they consider. I guess they're calling it the wild format now, where you can play with anything. But I hope they consider it when they make a new card. But at the same time, like you won't have to worry about like the Grim Patron fiasco, where you release a card like Grim Patron, and it warps Hearthstone for a little while because it's just so powerful comboed with like one particular card, and it warps the entire format. But at the same time, now if something like that happens, it's only around for 2 years, right? And they can design silver bullets against it because they don't have to worry about the long-lasting effect on the wild format anymore. It also means that cards that rotate out of standard can be, buffed or nerfed accordingly if they feel like they have to do it.
As always, right?
Yeah. So and hopefully this leads to less buffs and nerfs in standard, and they could just try to get it right the first time.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point.
Because they have a smaller pool to like have to worry about.
No, exactly. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think it's an interesting idea. I think it works for Hearthstone though. Speaking of which, have you been playing lately?
My February season is just whatever. I think I'm ranked 23 or something. Well, geez, I was in another country or two for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, you were on vacation. I forgot about that. Yeah, I've been playing this really hilarious priest control deck with the monkey, golden monkey. Yeah? It's been pretty dope. Yeah, I've only actually gotten to resolve the golden monkey thing one time though.
Still working for you?
I mean, I think the deck is just good, and the golden monkey's like a cool little gimmick to have, but like, it doesn't feel efficient. Yeah. Like, I feel like I could just play a good card sometimes. Well,
such as Hearthstone, really.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna say that I'm most excited about the standard format because I have Hearthstone fatigue. Like at the end of the day, I could have easily got to rank 20 in February, but You didn't have the urge. I do not have the urge anymore. Like, but the standard is I know it's going to bring me back, and that's what they're hoping for, right? I'm not the only one who left. Yeah. Or I don't want to call me as leaving, but.
Yeah, but it would be nice to have a little breath of fresh air. You know what I haven't done recently, though? I haven't even touched Tavern Brawl.
Oh, me neither. Yeah. Weird. No.
Don't know why.
Well, there you go, right? Yeah, we're already fatigued.
I see what you did there. I mean, while we're talking about Blizzard games, let's talk about Diablo 3, because... you and I have both played a little bit of it. I played a lot of... I just said Season 3 again, but I do mean Season 5.
Diablo 3, Season 5.
Diablo 3, Season 5. I don't know why I'm getting messed up like that, but... I mean, it's obvious. But so I leveled a Crusader from 1 to 70 in Diablo 3. I did it on my own. I did it entirely doing adventure mode and mainly grinding... Nephilim rifts, and it took me about 4 days or so of like semi-casual play to reach level cap. And so Blizzard has done some interesting things with Season 5. The first thing they've done is they've made it really easy to get your set bonus. So there are a couple tasks you had to do for Season 5. One of them was hit level 70. The next one was beat Zoltan Kuhl on Torment 2. And the third was to beat a level 20 Greater Nephilim Rift on your own.
There was about a few more than those, but...
Yeah, those are the three that matter, though, because whenever you complete one of those, you get 2 pieces of your set bonus. So, but there are more. There's like 4 chapters worth of achievements to do, basically. None of them were particularly trying, except for the one where you have to complete your set dungeon, which I'll go into a little bit later. Oh my god,
please, yeah.
So, yeah, so I liked it. I haven't really played a lot of Diablo 3 since Reaper of Souls, and I know they've been improving the game, and I've never played a seasonal character. And what I found with Season 5 is I booted up a seasonal character. I got to 70. I unlocked my set very quickly, and then I was basically just chasing the legendaries that I needed to complete the set. And I'm using the Thorns build for the Crusader. So basically, I have a huge Thorns stat, and my normal attacks are based off my Thorns damage now, and it's hilarious. Like I'm murking everything, speeding through Greater Nephilim Rifts. I power leveled a bunch of my buddies, like nothing at all, because I was just leveling so quickly, and the chase felt kind of good. Like my whole set is pretty much done. I'm only missing like one piece of gear. I had a lot of fun doing it. I had a lot of fun like trying to hit leaderboard status and competing with other people on my friends list, and overall it's been very enjoyable. And I've sort of put it down. I haven't played it recently, but at the same time, I don't feel like I wasted any time. And I think that season 6, I'm going to do it again. I think I'm just, if they keep it the same way they did this time, maybe with a few tweaks. I'm not sure I want to get my entire set for free like that. I feel like it might be a little too easy. One thing I heard Crip say was if you get 2 pieces of a different set every time you get one of the achievements. So you end up with the beginnings of 3 sets as opposed to just getting your first set. And I thought that was a neat way of doing it. And I think that, like, I really enjoyed it. And I'm sort of like, I'm not burnt out, but like I'm not rushing to play more Diablo 3 right now. But I did really enjoy Season 5. And I'll probably play a little bit more before it's over. I do want to try to get my last piece of gear and set in a couple of really good Greater Rift times and everything. But overall, like, it was a lot of fun. And I had a great time doing it. I have to hand it to Blizzard because they've really turned that game around.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Since the last, like, yeah, it's super fun now. I mean, it's very, how do I describe this? It's very endorphin releasing. I don't know how far your character ended up getting. Well, yeah, I know, right? But the way I can describe it is that, like, Diablo 3 is really good at making those numbers flashing across the screen feel really good. You know?
Absolutely.
Like, you run through a pack of guys. They all just die because you dealt like 200 million damage to them. And you're smacking people and watching bosses eviscerate. It's all very satisfying. And I think that Diablo does that very well. That, like, other action RPGs just haven't managed to capture the same way they do it. And I mean, Diablo 3 probably isn't even like the objectively best action RPG, but what it does so well.
That's a very good way of putting it. It's definitely not the best, but just like, I don't know, I can't be beat in terms of efficiency of, like, the reward.
Because and like the chase feels fun. Like, playing with your friends is fun.
And it knows exactly what it's doing, right? Like, it's not trying to be a beautifully written RPG. It's just like, not. Yeah, like it.
I mean, let's be honest. Every single Blizzard game in the last, like, 3 years has basically been the same plot. You know, in Diablo, you've got to fight the devil who's going to take over the world. In StarCraft 2, the end of the 3rd act with Legacy of the Void, you had to deal with the space devil who was going to ruin the entire universe. In Warcraft, you've got the Sword of Space Devil. Who's gonna ruin the entire universe?
It works. It's a
I mean, they know what they're writing, right? I did like Diablo 3 though. I'm excited to see what they do for Season 6 because I think it's all uphill from here.
Well, I think Season 4 and Season 5 have been very similar. Not that I played Season 4, but I know, like, they repeated this formula from Season 4, I believe.
Really? I thought this whole thing with the free set was new.
The season journey is not new. So the free set might be
I know
new,
this. Yeah. I really liked it. And they had some cool sets on display because it was basically just like a flavor of the month kind of thing. But you know what? Like, I liked it. I didn't feel like I needed to be. I felt like it was very satisfying getting the set, and the fact that, like, one of the goals you have to do alone was there. Like, with the whole Torment 20 thing, I thought that was good. Or it's not Torment 20, a Greater Rift level 20, but still, I liked it, and I'll probably play a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm still working on my last set dungeon. As a wizard, it's complete.
I heard that the wizard one for the unlock. I heard that the unlock set for wizard is actually pretty bad, which has been throwing people off.
Yeah, like, it's I could see how that spec works, but I know it could be better. The set dungeon is horrible. Like, I know it was nerfed apparently, so I'm experiencing the nerf version, and I still can't do it. The trick is I had to nerf my damage in order to complete the set dungeon, and like, why?
Really?
Like,
That's
I
really
have to change my skills around so they do the least damage, so I burn enemies more, and like, that's
The one for the Crusader wasn't too bad. It was just like I kept accidentally not killing the elites inside the consecration. It was really dumb, and the way they did it was very stupid. Huh. And you also had to be very quick. And I was just when I tried to do it the first time, I just was not tanky enough. Now I'm tanky as heck, though. You can't stop me. I run into I'm so like unkillable now that like I'll just run it. I can stand in those arcane beams now and not even worry. It's ridiculous. Yeah, and they used to just jib me, but I have so much just like flat damage reduction coming through that it's ridiculous. Yeah. But it is good. And I got my little pet now. I got
and a nice portrait probably.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the little tree pet goes and gathers gold for you.
Really?
It's very cute. Yep, that's the upside of having a pet is that they pick up all the gold for you.
Like, so you don't have to step slightly to the side instead. You just, okay.
Yeah, he just runs around and he scampers and gets it all. He doesn't pick up items though, which I guess makes sense. But yeah, overall, like big thumbs up. Diablo 3.
Yeah.
Huge load of fun.
Yeah, coming back from vacation and then you were just like, oh, let's play, and like it took.
And then 15 minutes later, you're level 70.
And like I managed to get into a group game that got me to Paragon like 230. I think I am. I know. That's like funny. That guy was really nice. Yeah,
I mean, everyone's seen the community. Wasn't I didn't find any like aggressiveness. Although I'm very much like a bunch of our group of friends were like, yo, let's get into a queue with a random like Paragon 1200 guy who has like a full set of gear, and I'm like, but I don't.
Okay, see, I did
when
that.
When I played Diablo 3, like I very much enjoyed playing it either just with people I know or solo. I liked playing it solo. It was I had a great time playing it solo. It was like very cathartic. I just I would put on a podcast or listen to some music, and I would just like grind my way to level 70, and it was very satisfying.
I didn't know you did the grind by yourself.
I basically did 1 to 70 completely by myself. Yeah, so I liked it. It was kind of a nice, return to form, and then it was very funny power leveling people and watching them just be like, "Oh God, I'm dead." But
yeah,
but yeah, it was good. It was very, very good, and the whole Heradric cube ripoff that they have now is really
Kanai's cube.
I like that a lot. Yeah, Kanai's cube. I liked it. It was it like being able to convert gems into other gems and like being able to re-roll the stats on a legendary. Like a buddy of mine picked up a ring that I needed, but he picked it up as a demon hunter, so it had dex on it. But he gave it to me, and then I took it to the cube and I re-rolled it, and it got all the stats I needed. I'm like, that's really good.
There you go. Yeah.
So yeah, it was very nice, and the whole Greed's realm. I don't know if you've ever gotten to
the vault.
Yet. It's really
the vault. Love the vault.
It's so dope. I remember being in there for the first time and having like a couple million gold, and then I left and I had 70 million, and I'm like, well, okay. Yeah. It was pretty fun. Plus, you get to squish Greed with the chest repeatedly. That's a good one. But yeah, overall, Diablo 3 Season 5. I definitely recommend it. I mean, you've probably got about a month left to play it. If you are interested, and I definitely recommend it. You may only get like a month worth of play out of it, but Season 5 was a good move for them.
Yeah,
very good move. Excited to see what happens.
Yeah, definitely
next.
Excited for Season 6. No doubt.
Yeah, definitely. I will definitely be playing. I will definitely be leveling something to 70. And you know what? I'm gonna level a whole different class this time.
Exactly.
It's gonna be great.
That's how you do it.
Yep. Maybe do hardcore. Maybe do hardcore. Group hardcore level up.
Oh, that sounds.
Try to get to 70. Little crazy.
Yeah, just a little crazy.
It's a little crazy. Speaking of action RPGs though, so we'll get to Path of Exile in a minute, but so a game Grim Dawn released from early access this month, and it was actually the same week. It was this week because I think Super Hot came out this week as well. And Grim Dawn left early access. I have not played Grim Dawn. I've heard it's very good.
Yeah.
But Have you've played what?
I played an hour
2 hours?
yesterday. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And
So
tell me about it.
it's pretty fantastic. I mean, it's completely different from Diablo 3 Season 5, obviously.
How so?
It is an RPG. Like there is
Okay.
the storyline seems solid right now from my 1 hour's perspective, but it's like
Okay.
you're on more than one quest at a time.
Okay, so you're actually
And there's
doing
exploration, it
quests and
seems.
okay. Does Grim Dawn has online co-op? I would imagine.
I believe so. I didn't want to start off playing multiplayer, so I did a solo game for the first hour.
Okay.
So unlike Diablo 3 or any Diablo that ever came out, I guess you do not have a class. You pick your class at level 2, and then at level 10 you get the option to pick a second class. Yeah.
Oh, very cool. That's very Guild Warsy.
Yeah, and there's certain combinations of the classes. Like, for example, a demolitionist shaman is an elementalist. An occultist soldier is a witchblade.
Does your class get? Sorry, does your class get renamed dynamically depending on the combo that you pick? Oh, that's very cool. What kind of? How many classes are there?
There are. Let me count. There are 6.
6, and so you get to pick 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Can you pick one?
I've read some articles and people are saying that picking one is definitely viable, so I believe that's the case.
Cool.
I don't.
Very cool.
There's also doesn't seem to be an option to be a shaman, so I guess maybe at level 10 when you pick your second class, you maybe just don't pick one or pick a shaman or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. But it's more traditional in the way that it's an RPG.
Yes, definitely more traditional in that sense. But like the game itself looks very good. I would say Diablo 3 is a good game. It looks great, and this looks just as good. I kind of like
because it's made by a much smaller team.
Yeah, it definitely looks just as good. In fact, I kind of liked the monster physics when I was shooting them with my gun. Like, they were just blowing away, just like right into the chest, just several yards, and I thought that was hilarious. It's fun. Like, I was having fun playing it. I'm definitely gonna continue having fun.
And I mean, the price is right for it. It's $25 Canadian.
Yeah,
That's
exactly right. Like
for a long experience like that, especially in it's an RPG. So I mean, there's sort of a minimum expected play time.
Yeah,
I guess.
Exactly. $25 for what I'm assuming is 40 hours, probably. So.
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah. Is there end game content?
I do not know. I don't know if the end game content is just grinding out the last quest again and again. If that's the case, I'm not too excited, but we'll see.
Yeah. I've looked at it and I saw a couple of people talking on it on the on Reddit, and I was intrigued and I might pick it up. We'll see. It's we'll have to give it a look because I'm always looking for another time sink.
Apparently there's mod support. So, yeah.
Oh, that's good. Wait, like full workshop support?
I don't know if it's workshop, but I'm reading it here that there are modding tools. So, perhaps that is the end game.
Oh, maybe. Just more content. I guess continuing on the subject of action RPGs, will you be playing Path of Exile this week? Because it comes out with Ascendancy on the 4th, middle of the day.
I think I might reinstall it, yeah. But will I continue with it and keep playing it? I don't know.
Apparently, I was speaking with a couple people I know that play it, and they were saying that the seasonal play for Path of Exile is very good. Yeah, and that seasonal play is basically how you have to play it because the economy is so warped on the Eternal servers because there's just so much money. Yeah. It just screws up everything. So apparently with Path of Exile, it's very good as a seasonal game, and there's lots of really interesting builds and stuff. Although they are changing up the entire skill tree with
the passive skill tree.
Yeah, they're changing it up a lot because it was sort of the best way to describe it that I heard. The best way to describe the complaints that I read were that a lot of the classes could be accomplished in the same way, and where you started as far as like what your starting class was didn't really matter. It didn't really affect like what kind of builds you could do. Like 3 different classes could accomplish the same build and be only very minorly different.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Just with a couple different like skill trees and stuff that they start at basically. But a lot of it you could accomplish the same build. Like I know that there's like a fire totem build that you can do as like a warrior or a witch. You know, it doesn't really matter which one you take, but you can do either. So apparently what they're trying to do is that with the new expansion, not only are they adding like 19 prestige classes or whatever, they're adding like more dungeons and everything too, and more moves and all this crazy stuff. But they're also like making the skill tree feel a little more distinct. Depending on where you start. So you could still accomplish like a very unique set of builds, but at the same time, you don't like it doesn't feel like you could just go to a spot and like get these key points. Like where you start does matter.
That's quite the interesting change, right? Because I'm like part of the draw of Path of Exile was just how like I guess like Wild West it was. It was just like the fact that you could have a warrior and a witch being very similar was also to me kind of like an appealing factor.
Yeah. Well, and we'll definitely see. I'm definitely going to give it a go on the Friday for sure. Probably play a little on the weekend, see how it goes. But I'm definitely excited to give it a go, especially with the with like Diablo 3 sort of like being in the rearview mirror at this point. But
yeah,
I'm excited. No, I'm always down to try it. And you know what? You can't go wrong with Path of Exile. Like you can install it. It's free to play. I'll admit that getting into it can be a little difficult because it is a little daunting with the way that the skill system works and everything. But honestly, like it's free to play. Like they monetize it purely on cosmetic items, and I think there's a couple other features you can get. But honestly, the game, as far as free to play game go, is very key. The perfect model. Basically.
I cannot believe that it's free. Actually,
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, I mean, I'm surprised they don't charge like a $10, $15 like install.
They would get
fee,
away
basically.
with it. Like it's
they would.
Yeah.
They totally would. But it being free is just icing on the cake. But yeah, definitely gonna give that a go. So, have you played Pokemon lately?
Lately, unfortunately, I have not.
Yeah, I have not either. I have Alpha Sapphire installed on my DS, but I have not played it.
Omega Ruby is still not beaten by me.
Yeah, I'm half like I want to play it again, and the other half of me is like I did beat Pokemon Y. I did get to like the end game stuff, and I found it so incredibly tedious. All the breeding and everything, it just drove me nuts.
Yep.
So
and you're just gonna have more of it with Alpha Sapphire,
Pokemon Sun and Moon. And Pokemon Alpha
oh my God,
Sapphire.
Sun and Moon, right?
Yeah, that comes out. That was announced a little while ago, and I mean we don't really know much about it. They basically just like they bought the website right, and then they announced it the next day, basically. So we'll see. I mean,
I'm excited.
It's Pokemon. I know. I can't believe I bought like both Alpha Sapphire and Y at one point. But like I feel like it might happen again with the new one.
I'm surprised they aren't making Pokemon Z.
I wish they would, honestly, but maybe that's something they come back to later. You know, maybe that's like a little down the line, like the way they've rebooted like Alpha, Sapphire and Ruby. You know, maybe they go back to it down the road.
The next in line for the reboots came out on regular DS. Oh, like can you believe that? Yeah.
Jeez. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the answer is not to even worry about Sun and Moon and just like buy Pokemon Red again.
Right.
on the DS.
Yeah. I would love to kind of play Yellow, but you know what? I'd rather play Pocket Mortys.
Pocket Mortys? I have not installed.
You have not installed Pocket Mortys?
No. So what is it?
It is Pokemon.
Okay. Is it actually though? Like it's just Pokemon? But Rick and Morty.
I guess it's slightly different. Like you have one main city hub, and then you go through a portal to another dimension, and In that dimension, you have to fight another Rick to get his badge. There's 70.
Okay.
I think there's 70 something dimensions, so 70 something badges to get. Your team is not 6; it's 5 Mortys, and you always have your one original Morty. You can never switch them out. I kind of got rekindled with it when I realized I could combine my Mortys, and that's how they evolve, I think.
You can
I combined 2 scruffy Mortys, and I got an unkept Morty, and he was a higher level too, so that was kind of neat.
Okay, maybe I'll have to install this on my iPad.
I don't think. I mean, yeah, go ahead. I kind of recommend at least trying it, but I don't think you can play it online, which is kind of a big. I know.
Oh, failure. Yeah. Failure. I mean, I don't know. You can't really play. I mean, you can now, I guess. I think I was about to say something very stupid, but whatever.
What else is new?
What else is new? Constantly talking out my butt. Actually, speaking of mobile games, so have you played Clash of Clans?
I had a phase in my life I don't want to talk about. Yeah.
Okay, I've never actually played it except for like 10 minutes where I booted it up, like gave it a go, and like realized that the way the game like operates just isn't for me. With the way like they do all the time-based stuff. Okay. So I think it's the same company. They've released a game called Clash Royale, which is a card game, but also like a very light real-time strategy game. And basically it runs on, you have a mana pool that is out of 10 and it's like constantly increasing. Your deck is only, I believe, 8 cards.
Okay.
And you don't put doubles. You just choose 8 cards from your collection. They each have a mana cost, and the map is set up so that you have a home base on each side, and there are 2 towers slightly ahead of it, and then there's a bridge that your units have to walk across. So all that the real-time strategy element is that you take a unit and you drop it on the map, and then it begins to walk towards the enemy side of the board. And it starts to attack their towers and eventually attack their main base so that you can destroy it and win. It's surprisingly deep when you get into it because there's lots of combos of creatures and stuff. And it's kind of addictive. Like it's really fun to play. It uses the same time of the way they monetize it is basically patience. So whenever you win a game, you get a chest, and the chest has like a couple of rankings. You can be silver, gold, or magical, and like obviously like there's a higher chance, like you're guaranteed a rare or something in a silver, I think, or it's like you're guaranteed an uncommon in a silver, a guaranteed a rare in a gold, and a guaranteed an epic in the mythic chest. And you basically it takes time to open the chest. So like when you get your silver chest, it'll take 3 hours to open it.
Oh.
So it's based on patience, and you use gems to open the chest faster.
Okay, yeah.
But the way it works is that you only face people around your rank, so you won't face people, and as you get as you get more wins, more of the cards like open up to be able to be opened by you. So you won't be in a situation where you're facing people who have like the later end cards. You'll always be facing people who have like around your skill level of card, right? But you can also trade in like duplicates of the cards to upgrade your current units. So like if you have 2 princes, you can like upgrade your prince to a level 2 prince who has more health, does more damage. So you can have a strictly better prince than your opponent.
Wow, geez.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. It never really felt like I was being... It always feels like you're facing someone that you can beat. I think that's the most important way to look at it. And I don't know, it's like really fun, and I played like a solid, I think I have like a couple, maybe 2 hours of playing it, and I've been playing it on my tablet, and it's been very good.
Yeah.
And it's very fun to play, and like when you get a couple levels up, and like you're playing with a little bit more of a large card pool, like there's a lot of really interesting strategies you can do. So I don't know, I mean I definitely say check it out. It's free to download. If it isn't for you, like don't try not to spend like it's really easy. It looks like it's really easy to like spend a lot of money. if you
they know how to do it, right? If it's Supercell makes Clash of Clans.
Yes, it's the same. It's the same company. Yeah. So I would definitely say like be careful, and don't buy like a million chests to open, because the ones that you buy don't take any time to open. Right. The ones that you win do, but the ones that you buy don't. So yeah, but definitely check it out. It's kind of fun to play, and it's kind of cool because like it's a real-time strategy game, so the games are over like real quick. So the games don't last more than like, there's also a hard timer. It's like 5 minutes, I think. So like the game can't go longer than that. There's like a tiebreaker thing that happens if you are tied as far as like buildings destroyed, but it still ends in a draw after a minute after that. So I don't know. It was pretty fun. It's pretty good.
Oh.
Pretty good. And it's all the same art. Like it's the same kind of units that you see in Clash of Clans.
Yeah. Well, they have a good property there, right? Recognizable units too, and
yeah, exactly. And you've got like basically you have like 4 cards in your hand, and then you can't draw more until you play one. So you always have to like keep cycling through the cards in your hand. And there's like a whole bunch of different strategies you can do. Like, do you want to play a bunch of little dudes to try to zerg them down? There's like super units that are just like one dude, but they're very strong. And then there's like a spell that summons like 20 skeletons that you can use to like kill a giant, because the giants ignore units and try to attack buildings only. So like there's all this priority of like what units will attack which units, so that you have to like counter what your opponent is playing, while at the same time like applying pressure to them. So it's kind of cool.
Definitely kinda deeper than Clash of Clans. I mean, not that I've really got to the end game of Clash of Clans, but
yeah, I don't know. Download it. Maybe you and I will play a little bit.
Yeah,
but
never even heard of it.
It's pretty fun. So,
yeah.
I think I actually don't even think that the States have it yet. I think that it's like it's in Canada and like a couple places in the EU. Yeah, it's really weird that it's not like everywhere. It's super strange.
Maybe it's a beta no?
Maybe. But it is available in Canada, so I downloaded the crap out of it. Yeah. It's pretty good though.
Well, since you brought up Clash of Clans, what do you think of Activision Blizzard buying Candy Crush?
I did not know that
it happened. Yeah, it was a $6 billion deal.
Oh dear, $6 billion. Yep. Jesus. Yep. Is it Activision Blizzard? Or
Activision
just
Blizzard. Yep.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know. I actually don't know.
Yeah, I guess
what that could possibly mean.
Well, they own everything now, right? Like,
do you think they'll integrate Candy Crush into World of Warcraft?
World of Warcraft.
Make sure to group with 5 people so you can get more access to Candy Crush levels. Kill me. Just kill me.
But like, how is World of Warcraft any different than Candy Crush technically?
Oh, I mean, like they're both sinister and evil and drain your wallet and eat your soul. Speaking of which, we haven't played recently. We should.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Well, you were gone on vacation, and no one wanted to level up without you, so we should play it though. I'm definitely down to play level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotta level my monk.
Yeah, my dwarf hunter.
And the Overwatch beta started up again too. I wish I was in it.
Yep, I was just about to ask. Yeah.
I wish they did add a capture the flag. King of the Hill.
Oh. They
added a King of the Hill game mode. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of neat. More diversity is good. They also added a bunch of skins, a bunch of emotes. They've added, they've basically added all the stuff that they're going to monetize in the game, which is, from the looks of it, none of it gameplay related. It's all cosmetic.
Well, emotes are definitely game related.
But you can totally unlock them all in game too. You get like random loot crates after when you level up. And
like in-game currency too, probably.
I don't know if there's in-game currency. Actually, I don't know if because Heroes of the Storm doesn't use in-game currency. It just lets you buy things with cash.
I thought there was gold in here.
There is, but you don't buy it with money. Maybe I'm thinking about this the wrong way.
Yeah. Okay, like...
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how it works. If they're going to let you, like, buy the crates or whatever. Because, like, you open boxes and you can get, like, sprays, emotes, skins, things like that.
Okay.
That's kind of neat. And I mean, Overwatch is super fun. I did play it over the beta weekend, like during the summer.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah, it feels like it. Definitely feels like it. Yeah. It was really fun, though. I do want to play it again. It does come out in like 3 months, apparently.
Okay, yeah.
Or whatever, like 3-4 months. So, I mean, that would be pretty dope.
Yeah.
To play some Overwatch. It is pretty fun.
What'd you think of Black Ops 3?
I mean, oh, yeah, because the free weekend was... Yeah, okay, I thought about maybe buying the starter edition, the multiplayer starter edition. It's only $20. You can only get to level 55, and you can only play the multiplayer. So I thought about grabbing it after the before and after the free weekend. And I've sort of come to a couple realizations about Call of Duty. I think that what they're doing with Black Ops, and more so what they did with like Advanced Warfare, I think that it's the right direction to take the series. I think I liked Advanced Warfare more than I liked Black Ops 3. I liked the air dashing and stuff and like all the dodging you could do in Advanced Warfare, and they've sort of slowed the game down again with Black Ops 3. That being said, it's still a pretty fast game, and it's very mobile, and the addition of like the wall running and like the parkour and everything is really cool.
That's for sure, yeah.
I think that I think that Call of Duty has kind of I think I've sort of missed the boat on Call of Duty. For me, those games have always been like feast or famine. I'm either playing really well or I'm garbage. And the weekend was like an exercise in being garbage. I don't think they needed the... Have you played the Black Ops 3 multiplayer? Because I know you own the game, but have you actually played the... Okay, you've played the actual multiplayer. So, the whole thing with the different classes and they have like their special abilities and whatever, I'm sort of love-hate with it. The first problem I have is that the readability on the characters isn't that good. Because you only see them for about a split second before they kill you, it's hard to distinguish like who is who and what they can do. And the game doesn't do a very good job of telling you like what the person's special ability is. Like near the end of the first day of the free weekend, I just got killed by a guy with a flamethrower. I didn't even know there was a guy with a flamethrower.
There you go, yeah.
Right? And then like on Sunday, I got killed by a dude who turned invisible, and I didn't even know there was someone who could do that because the game doesn't let you check on the higher ranked operatives if you're not at that rank. I mean, I guess I could have looked it up on a wiki, but still. It was just like the game did a very poor job of telling me like how I could be killed. And I think that there's an interesting like take Overwatch, for example, right? Or take... What's another example? No, Overwatch is probably the best example.
You know what you're up against in Overwatch.
In that game, yeah, each character has a very clear silhouette, right? So you never... And the silhouette tells you a lot about what the character can do. Like, the huge characters are tanks, right? Like, it's really easy to tell that... What's his name? The guy with the huge rocket hammer. You can tell that he's going to try to get in your face and hit you with it. You know? Tracer looks fast. Like, all these characters look like their silhouette does. The problem with Black Ops is that every silhouette looks the damn same. So it's hard to tell what's going to happen. And the game is so fast already, and it only takes like 1 or 2 shots to kill you, that it can make a very frustrating experience for a new player.
But you know what? Here's another perspective, is each of those special abilities, at least... Okay, so like in the whole Call of Duty like timeline of things, it's the same. It's filling that niche that like the care package, or I guess the care packages are still there.
The kill streaks are still in the game. Yeah,
like
still
the one that did the radar sweep and like 5 kills gets you this, 10 kills gets you that. Like that's what it's replaced, right? So at least.
But it hasn't replaced it though. It's an addition to it.
Really? Like I thought I knew they still had the care packages, but I didn't.
No, they're technically score streaks now, but because you can get credit for them by getting assists and.
But you get the special abilities based on your streak, correct?
No, not based on your streak. They're based on just like flat number of kills like you get over the course of the match, as opposed to like how many you get in one life.
Okay.
Because the score streak still exists. Like, the kill streak stuff still exists. You still get UAVs. You still get, like, counter UAVs. You still get missile launchers and stuff. That stuff's all still there.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Then your point is totally valid. It's
just, like, on top of the fact that the game has, like, jetpacks, it has crazy guns that kill you in one hit. it's got power sliding, it's got parkour. Like, it's all these things that I have to keep track of.
Yeah.
As well as the fact that you need to know the levels inside and out, because that's like how you get good at Call of Duty. Like, your twitch reflexes are half of it, but the other half is just like knowing the level. So I liked it. Would I buy the full game? Probably not. Would I buy the starter multiplayer edition just to like pick up Call of Duty every now and then? Maybe. But I did have fun over the weekend, but I don't think Call of Duty's for me anymore. I did like Advanced Warfare back when it was released. The multiplayer was really good, and it was a lot faster. And I felt that because I was hyper-mobile in Advanced Warfare, that it helped with the fact that I would die in one hit. It felt more like Quake, I think, with that one, which is why I liked it. But Black Ops 3 is cool, and I like what it tries to do. I just don't think it's for me anymore.
I guess I have to add that this is the first time that they have actually tried to optimize the PC experience.
I know. I did appreciate that. The PC features split screen, which is crazy. The game ran very well, very, very well, and it really, I think it had dedicated servers and everything. So like, honestly, it felt really good. Like, I thought that at least they were trying to make the experience very good, and I didn't like have any crazy like network problems or anything.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I wouldn't buy it, but that's just me.
Yeah.
That is just me. But I mean, speaking of free weekend nonsense, so the weekend before, so not this weekend, but the weekend of the 20th, I believe. Yeah. I played the Division beta for 3 days. I basically told my girlfriend that, listen, it's only free for the weekend. Chris and I are gonna play it. We're gonna play it like pretty much the whole time, and we're just gonna do as much as we can and see what the game has to offer. So, for anyone who doesn't know, The Division is a modern RPG set in a sort of post-apocalyptic New York that's been hit with an incredible bioweapon, and the whole thing's a mess. And the draw of the game is that the PvP for it is this zone where you can go into it and basically killing each other's fair game. So you don't know if that player that's running past you would kill you or is just going to do his own thing or whatever. And as far as the PvP goes, it's actually very good. I'll talk about it more after. But the game itself is very, besides the PvP zone, the game itself is very sort of one-dimensional on what it is. It is a PvE cover-based shooter with that is also an RPG because it has a loot system and that's kind of like Borderlands, where like gear is always dropping, and you try to spec yourself out with good sets, and there's like 3 basic stats in the game that affect like how much damage your bullets do, how much health you have, and how much damage and effect your abilities have. Because I think there's 15 abilities in the game that each have 3 modifiers each, and there's like some customization in that way too. And it's an interesting game. We didn't get to play much with the beta. We only got to get to level 8.
Level 8 is the max level, no?
No, level 30 is the max level. Yeah. So level 8 was okay. We got to do we got to access like the first 2 areas of the Dark Zone. And it was pretty, like, the actual missions I found kind of boring. Like, they're basically just like your standard third-person shooter stuff. You go to cover, you shoot the bad guy. You go to cover, shoot the bad guy. One thing with the game is that it didn't bother me that much. It was just something to definitely know, is that it has Tom Clancy on the title, right? But the game is not realistic at all. Enemies and you are really, really bullet spongy. Like, they could take a lot of hits. They could take multiple headshots, and it's just really, like, it takes a lot to kill anybody, quite honestly. So it feels more like an RPG than
I was about to
like
say that does seem very RPG like.
Yeah. And that being said, it did make some of like the PvE missions feel kind of grindy. I mean, I wasn't really super impressed with them, to be quite honest. Maybe they get better later on in the game.
How are the environments though?
The game's gorgeous. The game's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, it's like a ruined New York. There's like cars everywhere, and you can close all the car doors that are open. Oh, the game is absolutely gorgeous. Like definitely beautiful to look at. And like, but as far as like the actual like, so the way the game works is there's a hub where you can see other players. When you leave the hub and go into New York, you're on your own. And it's in the PvE where there's no other players, you're on your own unless you invite people to join your game. You can invite people, you can queue up in the matchmaking to like find people to do the missions, which are basically like scripted events that take you in like instanced areas. And those are pretty short. They take like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes to get through. They're not too long. At least the ones I did. They had 2 in the beta. But you can also just invite people into your world to like do the random events that pop up around the map with you. And that part of the game was kind of like whatever. It was fun. It was very forgettable.
Do you level up through that forgettable part you're talking about right now, or it's more through the scripted events?
You get XP for doing the missions, and I found that the best way to get to the level cap for the beta very quickly was just repeating the missions over and over. So I imagine that missions will probably be the most efficient way to get yourself to level 30.
Okay.
But we'll see when the actual game gets released.
Yeah.
I mean the level cap's only 30. So it shouldn't take you too long no matter what, really, because the real chase is like getting new loot. And on that same vein, the best loot is in the PvP zone, is in the dark zone. That's where all the best gear in the game is. Okay. So there's an inherent risk because the way the dark zone works is that once you go in, you get queued into like a phase of the dark zone where there's other players, because obviously they can't put you all in the same spot. But they put you into the dark zone with like a bunch of people around you, and it just shows them as neutral agent, and you can shoot them if you want. You can just kill them. And the way it works is that in the dark zone, everything is contaminated. So if you pick up any items, you can't just leave with them. Instead, each dark zone area has various extraction points that you have to go to. You have to fire a flare up, which calls a helicopter, which takes 90 seconds to show up. And when you call for an extraction, it tells everybody in the zone that you called for an extraction, which it tells everybody in the zone that you have loot. So you can only carry 6 contaminated items at a time. So if you want to get these items out, you have to extract them, right? So it's very tense because and when we were playing it, we had a group of 4 at some points, and we would get into these very like tense standoffs with other people at the extraction points, because the extraction can only take 4 bags at once. So basically a full party of 4 can extract on one helicopter. And there were a couple of moments when like these extraction points would get really crowded, and a bunch of people would crowd around the rope to put their bag on, and somebody would just get blood in their eyes and throw like 3 grenades into the middle, and shit would just hit the fan.
Jeez.
And I must say, the Dark Zone multiplayer was some of the most fun I've had playing like an online video game in a really long time.
Oh yeah?
Like I had a lot of fun, because there's also like neutral mobs in the Dark Zone that you kill, and that's how you get the loot. And there's also like chests to open and like a lot of things to search for. And that part of the game, the Dark Zone, and like there's a whole thing with like open voice comm where you can talk with your teammates at all times, but and people who are just near you can hear you.
Oh.
If you're using the in-game VoIP, you can just get past that by turning off the in-game VoIP and using like Skype or whatever.
That's just part of the experience then.
Yeah, but it's like, it was really fun, and like seeing people like in the field, and like going rogue sometimes when you like find a guy by himself, because the way the rogue system works is if you kill somebody, it tells everybody in your vicinity that you've gone rogue, that you killed a neutral agent, and you get a bounty on you. If they can kill you before the bounty runs out, they get a reward and you take harsher penalties, right? Because when you die in the Dark Zone, you lose this. There's a special currency for the Dark Zone, And there's a separate leveling system for the Dark Zone, which is your Dark Zone rank. And you need the special currency and a high rank to buy the special gear that is available at the various checkpoints in the Dark Zone, which rotates every day. So like you can gear yourself up by playing in the Dark Zone basically exclusively. And the gear in there was very, very good. It was better than anything you could get that wasn't in the that was in the PvE portion of the beta. And obviously there'll be more when the game gets released. And honestly, it was really fun because you would work as a group trying to clear these areas and kill the bosses to get their special gear and stuff. And then you would see like random dudes just like wandering by, and occasionally they'd like draw their gun, and you get a little nervous, and sometimes you'd be the jerk and you'd find some guy alone, and you could see if somebody's carrying loot because there's a contaminated bag that hangs underneath their backpack, so you can actually see if somebody's holding anything. So there were a couple times when we saw a guy on his own and he had a bag, and we're like, all right, let's kill him. And we killed him, and we took his stuff and we left. And we just started running until our timer ran out.
How long's the timer? Or is the timer dependent on who you killed?
The timer depends on how many people you kill. When you're shooting people, your timer goes up. And you have 5 levels of rogue. If you get to level 5 rogue, you get a 5-minute timer and a huge bounty on you. If you can survive, the reward is okay. But the timer ticks down from 5 minutes. But then while you're fighting, the timer doesn't tick down at all. So basically, you like gotta hold out and like try to let the timer tick down. But it doesn't go up anymore once you reach the max level.
Mm-hmm. Jeez.
But it was a lot of fun. Like that part of the game was dope.
Your description of the game sounds very tense. Like I am tense listening to you right now.
It's kind of like all the fun parts of like DayZ. I don't know if you've ever played it, but like with like the battle royale system where like you just see random people like in the world and you don't know what their intention is. It's like a very light version of the DayZ experience, but still very fun. And still very playable. So I think The Division is sort of trying to appeal to 2 very different crowds. I'm not impressed with the PvE. I think it's kind of samey, and I think that it's really boring gunplay. And I think that if you're gonna buy The Division and your intention is to only play single player and not go into the Dark Zone whatsoever, or just like do the multiplayer missions, I don't know what the missions will be like at launch, but as of the beta, they were very boring. And I would say that if your intention is to only play those, probably take a pass and look at some reviews. But if you're interested in playing the PvP and actually like getting involved in that part of the game, I think that you could do a lot worse. And quite honestly, like I was having a blast. And I for a while I was playing in the Dark Zone alone, and I can only tell you like how freaking tense that was when you're all by yourself and you're just trying to find opportunities to extract like the meager couple of gear you get. Or you ran into someone who's like we were extracting our stuff from the extraction point at one point, and we went out, and some guy followed us around the corner, and he used the open voice channel. He was like, hey, you guys want to go rogue? And we're like, all right. So we invited him to our party. We hunted down some lone players, stole their loot, and extracted it.
Okay, there you go. Yeah,
it's really a unique game experience, and that's the best part of the game. I honestly think that if the entire game if they doubled down on this whole Dark Zone thing and made it like the entire game, I think that it would be better. What they're trying to do right now is they're basically trying to appeal to 2 different people. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it'll work out for them. I think it's going to end up with like some people not being happy that you can only get the best gear playing PvP. And I think they're going to be sort of rightfully mad. Well, at the same time, I think that the whole point of the game is to do the PvP. I think that if you are not doing it and you're just playing the game by yourself or like doing the multiplayer or whatever, and just doing the missions, I think that you're missing out on what makes the game very fun and very tense and a very unique experience. So I don't know, it comes out in a week and a day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it comes out on the 8th of March. There's a sale on Green Man Gaming, and there's a sale on another site. If I can find it, I'll put it into the YouTube.
I like the Green Man Gaming sale. It's not a percentage; it's flat cash.
Yeah, so it's real good.
Are you familiar with Destiny? Like,
I am. It's from what I've heard, it's very similar.
Really?
To Destiny. Yeah, it's a little more squad based because like you can really support each other with your ability choices. We didn't have access to a lot of the skills in the beta, but like there's definitely potential to like set some really cool teams up that can supplement each other very well. So it's apparently it's very like the idea is very similar to what I've heard.
Yeah, well,
but I don't know if there'll be raids or anything. Or
yeah.
I do just know that the PvP is like very choice, and I think that it's pretty much how you'd want to play the game. Oh, also, so I think there's like 3 dark zones in the game. I think they're divided by level, so like 1 to 10, 11 to 20, and then 21 to 30. But then what I think happens is once you are level 30, the entire dark zone becomes one area, and it's all level 30 players.
Oh, so you have a bigger dark zone. And yeah, that makes sense because obviously eventually most people are going to be level 30.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll see. Apparently they've already got the season pass announced, which is kind of frustrating. Ubisoft, like every time you do something I like, you do something I don't annoys me. But the season pass has already been announced. One of them's like a weapon thing. The other is like there's 1 PvE content and 1 PvP content. That's what they've done so far. But we'll see. It is steep. It's Canadian 80 right now, $79.99. So it is a pricey game. But I don't know. I think we're gonna grab it for launch day, and I think a couple people and I are gonna play it for a bit because it was very fun. Honestly like I'm kind of pissed at myself because I try not to get into this whole because it's okay. Because full disclosure, if you're playing it on PC, you need Uplay, and Uplay sucks. It's actually awful. Like it's really really bad. It's unfun. It's the reason I didn't get Rainbow Six because I really wanted to play Rainbow Six, but their back end is so bad.
Yeah.
Like there were a couple times with the Division where I saw people surfing like and moonwalking everywhere because like weird connection stuff, and they would just like float through the level or whatever. And like it doesn't matter as much because it isn't like a Twitch shooter. You don't have to like hit once and die. The firefights do take a long time, and you do have to like actually hit the guy a couple times to actually have any results. But I really liked it. I had a lot of fun. We played all weekend, pretty much right up until the beta ended, and I do not regret it. It was very good. It was very good. Although once I was level 8, I did not do any of the PvE stuff anymore. It was pure Dark Zone all the time.
Oh.
All the time. Did not touch any of the other stuff. So, take from that what you will. I really liked it.
Wish I could have joined you.
And it comes out in a week. Yeah, you were on vacation.
No. Well, I think it was the weekend I came back, so yeah, it was...
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, it was the weekend you came back.
I'm
still
on jet lag.
It was the 12th or 13th. Are you still jet lagged?
Oh, yeah.
You're all messed up inside.
I went to bed at 8 last night.
8?
And I've been back for like a week and a half. I'm just going to blame jet lag for everything that happens to me. Like, for the next couple of months.
Everything goes wrong. Car breaks down. Damn jet lag.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, honestly, it was very good. I enjoyed it a lot. And I'm excited to play more of it next week. So, we'll see. Maybe we'll see. All right, and you know what? We're at like the hour 10 mark. I think that's a good place to wrap it up.
Yeah, sounds.
I think it's good. So hopefully you've listened to this all the way through. If you listen to it on our YouTube channel, please like and subscribe if you like the content. And I don't know how else we're gonna get it to you. Maybe it's maybe they can get on SoundCloud. I don't freaking know. What are we doing?
We'll explore some new mediums.
Yeah, but we're gonna get this up on. Hopefully, this will go up this week. So, take care.
Congratulations,
everybody.
Leo, on your Oscar. And
oh yeah, congratulations, Leo. You ate raw liver. Congrats. Congrats, buddy. Good work. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Take care.